Oh, hi there. Welcome to the Water Temple. The Water Temple has been notoriously known as the most evil of all of the Ocarina of Time temples, and most people hate it with a passion. However, from what I've been told by Majora's Fan and others alike, this dungeon this temple as a whole has been incredibly easyified, if that's a word, which it isn't. So apparently the 3DS version has made it easier in terms of navigating this temple as a whole. Now, I'm not so sure if I see it as I'm not sure if I agree that it's a huge enough change to make a significant difference. But it seems like the main primary change has been kind of a color code of sorts to the rooms, because the issue has always been people get really lost in this place. And if you do get lost and you're coming back to this temple at a later time without the guide, just always keep in mind, try different doors on different water levels, and you'll eventually find your way through it. Personally speaking, the Water Temple actually might be in competition for my favorite temple. Okay, with one exception. Why are you here? You're a Link, aren't you? It's me, your fiancé. Yeah. This isn't going to work for me. No. Well, fortunately, Ruto isn't quite as much of a spoiled brat as she was 7 years ago, but it doesn't change the fact that this is not going to work for me. I cannot be engaged to a fish thing with a giant head. No thank you. She's so, content with being your wife. It's hilarious. You should listen to her, though. She gives a lot of good advice. There is 3 areas in this place where the water levels do get changed, and this is important. She's gonna swim off and be like, follow me, and then you're never gonna see from her again. So, I'm not really sure why they do that. You won't see her again until you're done with this temple. But you can follow her up, and that does help a lot. This will take us to our dungeon map, so we can grab that right off the bat. Now, I'm trying to go off from memory as much as possible with this temple, but this place is so easy to get lost in, even with help. Keep in mind, this is an evil temple for a reason.
Those of us who wandered around for 5 hours missing one key will know that.
Yeah. Now, another thing is I think that it's also unfair to say that it's a lot easier, because you have to keep in mind that if you're judging based on what you played before, well, you played through the dungeon, so you have some memory recollection of it before. Now, I'm not denying, I don't want to go against what Majora's Fan has told me. I'm sure it was much harder in the original. But yeah.
Boo-hoo, just get your map and just go.
You're just mad because you suffered through this place, and I got through it in an hour and a half my first time, and you and Will and everyone else were like, he's gonna be there for hours upon end, and I got through it.
I didn't know they color-coded it, but I was just going off of the horrible torture I had in my childhood. Oh well, props to you.
Yeah, I breezed through the Water Temple my first time. I was laughing at how easily I got through it. And then
Volvagia.
Yeah, I actually had a worse time with Volvagia. Whoa, didn't want to do that. Yeah, Volvagia gave me a much worse time than the Water Temple did. And that was quite hilarious. In this room, hit the 2 fire torches. Din's fire is probably easier to use, in all honesty. And then you can walk into this room, and this room's quite annoying. Believe it or not, your sword, in my opinion, is a rather worthless weapon in this place, with exception to the boss fights. I personally find myself using the hook shot / long shot, which we'll get shortly, as a primary weapon of choice, and it does help that you can use it underwater in combination with the iron boots. So that's a huge convenience. Shell blades are the enemy that you saw in this room, and they're just a pain. You have to wait till they open their mouths or whatever. Anyways, that's key number 1. And I know I kind of didn't really point this out, but if it wasn't obvious enough, wherever there's a Triforce, that changes the water level if you play Zelda's Lullaby in this place. Also, in the main room, there's 2 blue Techite things, and they constantly respawn. So you can just naturally be prepared to yell in anger at them constantly. This is optional. This is for a Skulltula, if I'm correct. I hope I'm doing this right. I'm trying to recall to what I practiced yesterday. I should have filmed yesterday, but I'm just like, too much effort. It was my last day of Christmas break, and I'm just like, I can film, or I could go fight some dragons in Skyrim. And I actually didn't play Skyrim. What did I do yesterday? I played Civilization 4 with Nick and another friend, Zach.
The Netherlands. The Dutch Empire.
Yeah, hey, don't be hating on my Dutch Empire. I was winning that game.
We'll see tonight.
We'll see when we finish it, but I was definitely winning there.
It's the Dutch versus the Germans versus the Mayans.
Well, my money is personally on the Romans, who I've already conquered and are currently under my control as a vassal state. I never understood this. I thought you would have to hit that switch, but from my experience, I've never had to hit that switch, so... Whoa, where'd you come from? We're filming here. This isn't your walkthrough. You're in the wrong walkthrough here.
I saw it coming. I couldn't stop it. It was like a car coming to hit you in the side. I was like, oh, there she comes. Oh, there she goes.
Oh, welcome to the Water Temple, Kiyoshiro. We are currently being tortured. Not really. I'm actually getting through this rather easily. What do I do now? I just got done saying I'm getting through this rather easily, and now
do what I did. Take off your Zora's suit. Put on your iron boots and have fun.
I think we go over here next. I'm going to assume this is where I go. Oh, no, enemy. Die. Okay, we're good. We are good. So how about them Romans? Because I hate pushing blocks. Alright, we're good. Into this room. Could float your way on up. Slowly and surely. That's really the biggest problem with this place. It just drags getting through it. Because everything is such a slow process. It does help to have arrows, but if you lure the blue Techite with an arrow, it'll jump down below, and then you shouldn't even have to worry about it. You can
just use the hook shot, it'll work fine.
Yeah, that also works. I used the shot, or hit the switch, step over the waterfall, and onward you go. Ooh, this room. I hate this room. The swirly vortex of terror! Not really. But the water in this room kind of whirls around, and it's easy to experience some turbulence underwater. Basically, I recommend finding your way over to the platform on the right, hit the switch within the dragon. Boy, we're talking about dragons again. And hookshot your way over, and I like to avoid the enemies in this room just for time's sake, but be careful, they can and will hurt you. And then that will pick up another key. Yay! And then we could hop on back down. Normally, I say I just hit the switch and stuff. This might be one of those instances where a bomb is better to buy you some extra time. So use the bomb, hit the switch, wander on through, and then we are back on our way to the surface. You may have to circle around a time or two. When I practiced this yesterday, I had a lot of troubles remembering how this room worked. So, yeah, you have to be crafty with your iron boots. I could only imagine it in the old game where you had to go to menu and stuff to put them on, so that might have just been an inconvenience difficulty factor in the water temple. The water temple, to my knowledge, hasn't changed because I've read guides for the original version and I haven't had any issues. So, I mean, the overall dungeon itself is no different. It's just that there are certain aesthetical features that have made it easier to navigate. Which is actually just overall a good game correction. Like, I think it was a smart move to help make it aesthetically easier to navigate. And
well, yeah.
And into the center pillar. How does this room work? I forget. Hookshot your way up here. Then is there something we do here? Triforce symbol, so change the water level. I think this is something that might be confusing if you're not familiar with the place. Especially since it took me a second to remember. There's gonna be the water level raises up, and then it'll kind of hint at the area beneath it. Whoops, I couldn't have bumped my game there. And basically what you have to do, drop your iron boots, be careful, there is spikes below, and that did not stop me from hitting them because I'm an idiot! Yay! Sink down below here. Wander your way forward. Thank goodness that navigating this room is so much navigating with iron boots is so much easier underwater, because I could not move as slowly as I do above water. You're going to want to hit that switch from afar. I find this to be the best method, because you're going to have your party, it's going to rain on your parade as soon as you enter this room. And then I recommend staying from a distance and targeting and hitting as many enemies as possible before kind of getting yourself in the midst of the fight. I love Navi underwater. Her bubbly voice is so cool. This is my favorite time in the entire game to have Navi by my side. Personally, just because I find it amusing listening to her say, "Watch out! Watch out!" And up here is your key. Yay! Make your way back to the pillar, and I hope I remember what I'm doing. I hope. Thank you, and good night.